Hey! I'm gonna be honest, I have no clue what I'm doing. This is a test video to see if I am interested at all in starting to talk about crochet. I have started crocheting. I started in like March of this year just because I wanted a hobby that I could feel good about doing. Like spending a lot of time and having a physical output of it was my main motivation because I used to play a lot of video games, and while it was like cozy and nice and whatever, it also felt like I spent 200 hours staring at a screen, and what did I get out of it? So that is why I've been crocheting, and about 2 months ago I started this granny square project, and it's been slow. So I thought I could crank this out in like a month, and now it's been about 2 months and I'm still not done, and I probably have a lot more work to do than even I think that I have to do. The project that I started was to make a cardigan out of granny squares, and this is a granny square for those who are unfamiliar. I picked 6 different shades of yarn and then a white to make these granny squares. So every single row is a different color, and then I chose 6 colors. So I have all of these. So this is like a cream and green and brown. This one is 2 greens with a dark brown in the middle. Oh, 2 greens with a light brown in the middle. Here's my medium with a medium brown and the cream in the middle. So that's what I have, all of these squares, and I have 90 something of them that I think is probably about enough for this sweater. And I'm gonna make a couple more because I just want to make... I stopped making granny squares at some point thinking that I was completely done, and I found out I was not completely done and I needed to make a bunch more. So now I've just been making more and more and more, and I'm closing in on 100 of these granny squares, which is about 50 hours of my time, which is crazy. But also then, you know, I have this physical thing, and granny squares are so versatile, at least that's what I tell myself. So I want to make a bunch of these into a sweater, and then whatever I have left over, I'm gonna make a purse. So I have a purse that's actually similar to this, except the granny squares are daisies. People compliment this purse all the time, and they say, "Did you make that?" And every time I have to say, "No, I didn't make it." But I'm gonna try one day to make one. So if I have a whole bunch left over, that is just what I'll do. My task today is that I'm gonna try to block these squares for the first time. So I bought this steamer on Amazon. I made all of these using acrylic yarn, and I've done a whole bunch of research, and everyone says steaming them is going to be the best option. So I bought this steamer on Amazon, and then I looked into blocking boards, and they were crazy expensive. So one thing that I saw online is that you can use like I just bought these foam kneeling pads. They're like, I don't know, a centimeter thick each, and I bought 2 of them because with 100 squares, I thought having 2 would be way more helpful. And then I also have these like bamboo skewers that I'm going to use to make the posts to put on the blocking board. The thing is, crocheting to me is such a random, I don't want to say random hobby, but to me it's a creative zone. So I can, that's why I went, oh, I don't know how many granny squares I need, I'm just going to keep making them, because there's so much of the rest of my life, I'm an engineer. So the rest of my life, it feels very structured and I need to know exactly what I'm doing. And this is my little creative playground for myself. Part of this creative playground is that obviously I made all of these squares, and I made them, you know, doing the same 3 colors in the middle and the white on the outside. But I don't really know what size they're supposed to be. You know, I wasn't like, oh, this is 3 inches by 3 inches or 4 inches by 4 inches. I have no clue how big this is. So honestly, I'm gonna measure one. On my knee. Okay, it is 3.5. 3.5, and then on, see the other way, it's more like 3 3/4. I need to figure out realistically how to make them all the same size, because I know at some points I was using a bit more tension than other times, so I'm a little bit worried if I choose like, well, can I stretch them all to 4 inches, that some of them won't be 4 inches? And then I'm also afraid if I do the same thing on the other side and I say, okay, maybe just 3 inches and 3/4 inch, that some of them won't, then that will be like too big. But the thing is, I do need to find that size because that's the whole point of blocking. So I think I'm gonna go do some research. Not some research, I'm just gonna mess around with this. And we'll see what I come up with for all these squares. And I forgot to show you this earlier, is that I actually started putting this together without blocking them. So I'm decided to use this like flat slip stitch border, and I think it looks really, really good. I think it makes it pretty cozy. Some people do like invisible seams and whatever. I like this because you can see the crochet bit on top of the square, which I think is really cute. The thing is, I'm gonna have to take this apart to block these 8. And I could just leave them and say it's fine, whatever. I don't know that I could live with myself as like a little bit of a perfectionist if I was like, oh right, the whole thing is blocked properly except for these 8. I have to take this apart, is essentially what I'm saying. Okay, now I'm struggling because the exact problem that I just talked about expecting to have, I am having. Because this is one of my early squares, and then this is one that I made like last week. And they're not crazy different sizes, but the early one is definitely tighter and slightly smaller. Honestly, it's not that bad though. I'm struggling because I wanted like a round number. I wanted to be like 4 inches, easy. I can map out 4 inches. Because the thing is, I can maybe make this bigger, but I definitely can't make this smaller. How do I want to do this? I might just have to go big or go home with 4 inches. That's the thing with not really following a pattern and just messing with it, is that you have to go with the flow, and it's okay. It's forcing me to go with the flow, which is going to be really good for me. But I think I have to settle with 4 inches because there's just, like, this guy's 4 inches and there's just no way that I can make him smaller. This guy's close to 4. Okay, we're gonna settle on 4. We're settling on 4. Okay, I think 4 inches was a mistake because this is my biggest square and it's still stretching it like that. I think one thing I didn't take into account is that when I'm measuring the square, I'm going kind of like this across it. The pegs, the stakes, are going to go through these inner corners rather than the edge of the square. You know what I mean? I see my mistake. We're learning. Let me redo this. Okay, I'm back. If you can see the old holes versus the new pegs, I completely reined myself back. They're now at 3 1/4 inches because I think that's going to work so much better. But I haven't placed it on. Let's test it out. So now that we have this figured out, it is time to actually steam them. So I'm going to be like layering them like this. That's why I got 2 boards and I have 2, that's why I have so many skewers. Because I think what I have to do is one at a time, I'm going to pull them up towards the top of the board like this. And then this is the good side. Steam it. Push it down onto the board. So it's like towards the back here. And then I'll just repeat that, putting one here and one here. And I'm also realizing I didn't practice my steamer. So I'm gonna go find a t-shirt for this steamer. And then I'll come back and we'll try this out. Okay, the steamer is warming up and I have this wrinkly shirt that I left in the dryer too long. This is gonna be our test subject. Oh, it's making noise though. Am I doing this right? Well, it's not wrinkly anymore, so that's a win. So I have 1 square ready, and while my steamer's going, we're just gonna do it. Ready? I almost skipped blocking just because I wasn't sure what it would really do, and I have to say I'm still not like entirely convinced. I don't know what I thought would happen. So we're gonna have some fun with this, and I will check back in once we've got a couple blocked and I figure this out. I have successfully blocked 12 of them. I already feel like I'm learning. As you can see, the bamboo's just starting to like cave inwards with all the crochet things on here, so that's becoming a problem. There is some little splinters that are catching on my yarn, which makes me just a smidge worried for how this is going, but 12 done. Only 90 more to go. It is the next day. I spent my crochet time yesterday blocking everything, so not everything. I blocked, I don't even know how many. This is stack 1 with all the blocked squares, and then this is stack 2, slightly smaller. I am getting annoyed because my steamer is small. I bought a pretty, or maybe this is standard size. I don't know what a standard size steamer is, but it would run out of water fairly quickly. So I have to turn it off and let it cool down before I can fill it with more water, and then I just was losing momentum. So I don't even know how many I have blocked. I don't know how many squares I have total. Hold on, let me count them quick. This is 21 squares. This is the larger one. 28. So that means I have 49. Dang it, that's such an annoying number. I have 49 blocked, which is about half of them. Like, this is pretty good. Like I was saying yesterday, I am going to take these apart just because it's going to annoy me if they are blocked versus unblocked. But today, I spent a little bit of time sewing in edges on some of them that I haven't finished yet. I made a couple more squares, and I think I'm going to continue to make a couple more squares just because I have no clue how many I actually need, and I would rather have extras to make a purse out of or something. I haven't taken them off of the blocking board yet. It's been about I don't know, at least 12 hours, 16 maybe, since I blocked them, and they don't feel damp at all. I don't know that I was blocking them correctly, but I did take one off earlier, and there is, I will say, a very noticeable difference in how flimsy this is compared to one that I haven't blocked, like this one. I don't know if you can tell on screen. Obviously the blocked one is way more square than this one. This is being the blocked one, and this is the unblocked one. This one is just so curly and it kind of keeps its shape, versus the blocked one, if I hold it in the middle, she's like flopping, and then this one that is unblocked, she's still curling up. So you can tell that like the tension is holding this one together, and the steamed one, the blocked one, so floppy. So I think that's the point, right? And I think this makes me more excited for the cardigan because I can picture how it's floppy as a garment. You know, you want your garment to have a bunch of fold and floppiness, and that's just more comfortable to wear. Because if it's so stiff, like this is, I've seen people compare their unblocked acrylic cardigans to cardboard, and I can see how this is cardboard and this one. Look at that flop. Yeah. So I think it's going to be much nicer. I don't know. I will say I was struggling a little bit with the blocking boards because they kept leaning inwards. What I had to end up doing is taking a notepad. This literally has instructions of an old crochet project on it. I took a notepad and I stuck it between the wood, and they actually have enough tension to like hold the notepad there. So that is how I rigged up my blocking, because otherwise I was so afraid that the bottom ones would be like way more because they're so secure down here. I guess that's the bad part about making a custom one with wood and foam, is that it's just not as stable. But there's ways to do it, and I don't think I'm going to be doing that many granny square blocking projects, so I'm okay with spending this amount. Whatever amount I spent on this, maybe like $17 on these two foam pads, and they're kind of cute. Okay, so essentially I'm just going to repeat this process with the rest of the squares. It's probably going to take me a couple days to do, because honestly, if this is half of my squares, then I only need to do this whole blocking process one more time, and I definitely don't have enough squares with all the ends weaved in. I probably have, I'm gonna say 10 more hours of end weaving it. Not 10 more hours, oh my gosh. At least 10 more squares that I need to make and tie the ends in, and then 10 more squares that just need the ends weaved in. So that's gonna take me a long time. And unfortunately, with the timing of me making these videos, is that I'm about to go to my parents' house for Christmas. So I'm not gonna have that much time. I'm not gonna have as much time to be crocheting as I have the past couple days. And also I do wanna be able to record this process and be in my own home. Okay, so over the next few days, I think I'm just going to finish making the squares, weaving in all of the ends, and then steam blocking them like I've done with all of these. So I probably won't see you for another, with the holidays coming up, my next update probably won't be for another week. Terrible timing starting this, but I just couldn't wait until after the holidays. So I will see you when I see you. Hello, I am back from the holidays. It is the Sunday after Christmas, and I just got back to my own apartment. Here's the thing. I did not make as much progress before I left for the holidays as I had wanted to, as I had planned to. I really thought I would be done steam blocking everything. These squares, I think I showed you guys this. The squares that I steam blocked are still the exact same ones on the pegs. I just didn't have enough time at the end of the day. I did finish all of the squares, so here's all of the squares. This is not all of them, but this is one of my 3 piles of finished squares that all of the ends are tied in or sewed in. They're all done, but I really wanted to start on the construction of this sweater, and obviously I can't do that yet. I want to spend my last hour or so before I go to sleep trying to steam block these so that tomorrow when I'm done with work, I can start the construction, because I have been cutting myself off from starting any other crochet projects until this thing is done. So we need to finish it up. That's what I'm going to spend some time doing right now. Hi, it is the next day. I'm more than half awake today, and we have finally reached the most exciting part of this project.